is this article out right now on, obviously, Bleacher Report, and on this article they talk about the 10 best, I guess, trade chips in the NBA right now. So the probably like the most logical players to be traded so far this NBA season. Now there are probably going to be some players we've talked about before, like obviously, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, CJ McCollum, those type of guys. But I hope they talk about some other types of players, and make sure also down in the comments, maybe comment a player you might also think might be in the sort of trade area. Maybe not because they are a problem piece or because they're not really living up to expectation, but maybe because they're playing so good, it's the right time to move them. Make sure to keep that in mind as well. And I think that they also have another article about some other trade situations, so we can look through those and sort of laugh at how dumb they usually are, so we can do that as well. So anyways, let's see here. One of the first players they talk about actually is Mo Bamba from the Orlando Magic. I actually haven't really seen a whole lot of Mo Bamba talk at all in like a very long time, ever since Nikola Vucevic got traded from that team. I know, me personally, I thought, finally Mo Bamba's gonna get his shine, but obviously trading for Wendell Carter Jr. seeming to pretty much take Mo Bamba's spot again. So Mo Bamba this year's averaging about 12 points, 8.8 rebounds, so it's rounding up about 9 rebounds. Let's actually check how many block shots he's averaging. 2.2 block shots a game. Wow, that's really good actually. Interesting. Yeah, I think Mo Bamba definitely has like starter quality type of potential. I think I kind of see him a lot, kind of like Jared Allen was in Brooklyn, just a lot of times just not getting enough play time or shine, and then when he finally gets it, he becomes, $100 million, starting center in the NBA. And I feel like Mo Bamba would also be that type of player to sort of get that sort of, I don't want to say contract size, but I think he could get, that starter quality center out of him. And you could probably get Mo Bamba for maybe, an X player and like a second round pick. I mean, they're probably not going to be asking a whole lot for him, so that's actually not that bad. Ooh, this one I'm actually extremely excited about. Jeremy Grant from the Detroit Pistons. Now this is like one of those, like, if he goes to the right team, that could really turn the tides for the NBA. And I'm not joking when I say that. Jeremy Grant, he's definitely a player. If you throw him on, the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics, maybe even the Philadelphia 76ers without giving up Ben Simmons, if you can somehow throw him on one of those very close almost teams to push them over the top, that is a very, 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 very scary thing to think about. So, I think, of course, the most notable team, I think, would be the Golden State Warriors. I feel like they have definitely a very good shot, obviously having a plethora of young, aspiring players. Moses Moody, James Wiseman, you have Jonathan Kuminga. Those guys, you offer one or two of them, plus maybe throw in a little pick in there. Jeremy Grant, who, let's actually see what he's averaging. I'm assuming probably over 20 points. Yeah, he's averaging 19 points per game, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's going to be a really good perimeter defender as well. He can play the 4, the 3. That's a really good piece you can throw in there. And imagine him next to, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. Like, they could play that small ball 5 again like they used to back in the day. Have Jeremy Grant at the 4, Draymond at the 5. That's a very, very, very scary looking team, I'm not going to lie. So, I think the Warriors would be, in my opinion, the number one spot for them. I think they could really get it done if they really wanted to. And plus in Detroit, it's not like they're really waiting on anything. Jeremy Grant is already 27, turning 28 years old. I mean, he's going to be, he's in his prime, basically, right now. So, I'm not assuming they're going to wait another 3 or 4 years for Cade Cunningham to finally develop into the player they think he's going to be. And by that time, Jeremy Grant's probably going to want out of there anyway. So, I think definitely getting him to a team, like, I think, in my opinion, I would say the Warriors would be, like, a number 1. somehow get that done. I don't think any of like the top tier teams could really trade for him. Like the Lakers, I don't think they could get anything out of him. I don't think they're gonna trade Russell Westbrook for Jeremy Grant. And like, I don't know, the Brooklyn Nets don't really have any more tradable assets like that anymore. So don't think that could happen. But there are some teams out there, maybe even like the Minnesota Timberwolves, who definitely still need a power forward. That could be very interesting as well. So yeah, I actually really like that one. Of course, the next sort of other, I don't want to say big domino, but definitely a good piece. Buddy Hield from the Sacramento Kings, I think, is also a pretty good piece there. Now, of course, I don't know how high Sacramento feels about Buddy Hield. He's definitely been playing pretty good so far this year for the Kings. I just don't know if they're expecting to get anything like super duper crazy for Buddy Hield. He's averaging so far this year 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Pretty good for a guy for coming off the bench. Is actually really good, especially for how efficient he is from the three. That's really exciting. I'm just not also sure like what his trade value is, because obviously every single team in the NBA always needs quality 3-point shooters. Buddy Hield's one of the best in the NBA at that. But he's also coming off the bench. Like, he's on a big contract. It's kind of hard to see like what you could trade for Buddy Hield. Again, this could be another sort of like Golden State Warrior tradable piece, or even like a sleeper team like the Miami Heat, the New York Knicks, some sort of playoff contending team that just needs a couple more pieces to really make a big splash in the NBA. I feel like those are very exciting ones for sure. I don't really have like a team in mind, but Buddy Hield is definitely one of those players, again, in his prime, ready to, get it ripped up in his career. And I don't want to say stuck in Sacramento, but Sacramento is still, 2 years away from being 2 years away, if you know what that saying is. That's definitely one piece that, again, a playoff contending team can maybe ship out, like a first round pick plus maybe some sort of asset. Nothing too crazy, but I think a first round pick is probably what they're going to be looking for in order to move it, because they list off CJ McCollum, which of course we talked about many times before. CJ's actually he's arguably been the best player for Portland so far this year, at least in my opinion. He's averaging 21 points per game, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, being very consistent. Not so much the last handful of games for Portland, since they're on like a 3 or 4 game losing streak, but overall of the year, I'm actually really happy about how CJ is turning out to be so far. Again, trade talks are always going to be there around Dame and or CJ, and I think right now it's looking pretty good. Now, what I love first, the Blazers to trade CJ McCollum for a different piece, and then move Norman Powell to his true shooting guard position, because if I'm being completely honest, I think Norman Powell has been like my favorite Blazer so far this year. Like, I love his scrappiness, his shooting ability. He drives to the rim very well. I love Norman Powell, but if we could trade CJ for, like, again, a small forward, a power forward, something that we really desperately need, a wing player, I would still do it. But I'm not really upset about how CJ is playing so far this year. That is always going to be a thing. So again, Jeremy Grant, I don't know how Detroit would want CJ McCollum, but they could have him if they wanted him, for Jeremy Grant, or, Brandon Ingram in the Pelicans, or somewhere else. I have no idea, but it's definitely more of not going to happen than from the start of the season. But again, things could change very easily. Terrence Ross on the Orlando Magic. I would love to see Terrence Ross go to a different team, but his contract size is way too high. But again, this is a super duper quality sixth man that could come off a very good championship caliber team's bench and really shake things up. I would love to see him moved, but I'm sure in Orlando he has a lot of fun because he can just have the ball in his hand whenever he wants, so that also kind of makes sense. Ben Simmons from the Philadelphia 76ers, no duh. I think the talks have been revved up about the Jaylen Brown situation in Boston. That would be extremely play in Philadelphia. But man, I don't know. It's so crazy about what's happening in Philadelphia. Like, dude, as much as this is like Ben Simmons' fault individually for not, like, again, upping his game, really being expressive about how he feels about the team and everything like that, like, I understand like how this is definitely, Ben Simmons' fault as well as the 76ers organization, and they are just looking like a scrub of a franchise of just how they're taking care of Ben Simmons. Like, basically calling Ben Simmons a liar about his mental health. That just blows my mind. This entire scenario is just, it's just god awful. So let's see what else we got here. James Wiseman from the Golden State Warriors just talked about that. If they could trade him for a win now ready center. I think people have talked about it all the time about Christian Wood in Houston, or maybe even some sort of random piece somewhere in the NBA that we're not even looking at, like, I don't know, like Yusuf Nurkic in Portland, or somehow mustering up a trade for Karl Anthony Towns. I have no idea, but potential to be a very, very, very good center in the NBA very soon. But yeah, I don't know. I think they might try him maybe for this season, but definitely after this season, probably going to be looking to move him on if it doesn't really work out. And the last player to talk about, kind of funny, Christian Wood. I think, again, Christian Wood, a player that's, I don't want to say in his prime, but definitely a sort of win-now-ready player on a team that's probably going to be the last team in the NBA right now. They're 1-10 on the NBA season, but Christian Wood is averaging 18 points, 12 rebounds. Oh, that's awesome. So again, teams that need a good center that can really carry, I don't want to say carry an offense, but can really play very well in probably any scenario. He's 26 years old. He's right now ready to go. I think the Golden State Warriors, which we talked about a lot already in this video, I think is a great team for him to go to. Anyone else I can think of? Any other teams? Let's actually take a look. I mean, quite honestly, like Dallas, even like if you want to trade Kristaps Porzingis for him, I would not bat an eye at that whatsoever, quite honestly. Let's see. I think New York could be pretty interesting, even though they do have a plethora of bigs over there. Anyone else? Toronto would be very interesting. Charlotte would be extremely cool to see that. So a couple of handful of teams that could really use a really young big man that could still really build through, but is still a play now ready player. So some pretty good ones. Maybe some other tradable pieces. In my opinion, well, technically right now the number one seed in the NBA Eastern Conference are the Washington Wizards, which is pretty surprising, not gonna lie. Of course it is. But if I am Washington and I'm seeing the success we have right now in the hype that's being built in Washington, I would 1000% capitalize on this and look for trades. If I could somehow finesse a really, really, really good player from a team that maybe just needs a little bit more rotation play, maybe again you trade, Kyle Kuzma and Montrezl Harrell, who are having very good starts to this NBA season, for a very good maybe young player or an established player to play alongside Bradley Beal. I would 1000% do that right now. So if I was Washington right now, I would be looking at potential big time trades to sort of help get some better players around Bradley Beal. I mean, Jaylen Brown, of course, from Boston, but I feel like that's definitely one you gotta wait, like, a lot closer to the trade deadline. Right now, Boston is 11th in the NBA East. They're 5-6. It's recoverable. It's not like a big red button, oh my god, we need a panic type of push, but in a month or two from now, when it's, December, January, beginning of February, and they're still in that 11th, 12th seeded spot, then I think that Jaylen Brown talk will get a lot louder and louder and louder and louder. Alright, and like I said at the beginning of this video, we're going to be looking at some like trade scenarios that they talked about in this article as well. Some of these are really stupid, so we're going to have a nice little laugh, which is funny and ironic because the first trade they talk about is a trade of CJ McCollum going to the Dallas Mavericks for Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, and a first round pick. CJ McCollum, a potential all-star. For no offense, Tim Hardaway Jr., Richie Bullock in a first-round pick. That is just, that is absolutely insane. And no offense to, Tim Hardaway Jr. I think he's a very solid NBA player. He's averaging 15 points in this year. That's a good, average. But my God, that would be, I would cry if that is what the Blazers did to trade CJ. That would be absolutely insane. And I get it, like, Tim Hardaway Jr. is still, an efficient shooter. He's definitely a better defender than CJ is, but, like, CJ McCollum can, like, completely run an offense by himself. Like, he is a true point guard playing as a 2. There's no way Tim Hardaway Jr. would help sort of build that around. That is just a terrible trade. Here we have one for Jeremy Grant going to the New York Knicks in exchange for Obi Toppin, Alec Burks, Kevin Knox, and a first-round pick and a second-round pick. That's actually very interesting. Now again, Jeremy Grant can play that 3 spot, that small forward spot. You can play him right next to Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. That could be a very fun trio. Like, that could be, like, again, like, maybe at least in this year's NBA without Kyrie in Brooklyn and the Lakers struggling, maybe be able to push them to that, championship caliber team. That could be very fun to watch. We have one here of the Golden State Warriors, and this one we have the Warriors getting Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, and Tyrese Halliburton in exchange for Andrew Wiggins, James Wiseman, and Moses Moody. So you get Barnes, Buddy, and Tyrese Halliburton. Oh my God. That's insane. That is actually insane. Bro, what would even be their starting lineup? You'd have Stephen Clay, and then you would have Barnes at the 3, and then you would have Buddy Hield and Tyrese Halliburton coming off the bench. That's tough. That's tough. I don't think this is very realistic because that's a lot of moving pieces, and teams really don't trade away. Like, they're trading away basically 3 starting caliber players, and I don't think the Kings are at least that stupid to do something like that. Also, the Warriors would be trading away their, starting center, and I think if they would trade James Wiseman, it would be for another sort of big who can play that backup role. Because right now, I think they have Looney playing center, and Looney isn't a bad starting center, but if you could trade Wiseman for, again, like a Christian Wood or some other type of center, I think you do that instead of just getting more depth, at least that's my opinion. So, very interesting trade. I think for Golden State, that'd be super duper OP if they did finesse this from the Kings, but I don't think it's that realistic. Lastly, they have this 3-team star-studded trade, and this one is definitely a 2K style of trade nonetheless. It's a trade of the Boston Celtics getting Karl Anthony Towns. The 76ers get Jaylen Brown, and the Timberwolves get Ben Simmons and a first-round pick. Interesting. So, the Celtics basically trade Jaylen Brown for Karl Anthony Towns. How do you feel about that? If you're a Celtic fan, leave down in the comments, how do you feel about that? That's interesting. I'm not sure how that really fixed the ball movement problem they have there in Boston, but that's definitely exciting for Karl Anthony Towns nonetheless. And then Ben Simmons gets moved to the Minnesota Timberwolves, which, I don't know. That's kind of hard to say. I like more the fact of Ben Simmons having some sort of duo partner. And I mean, D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards are good pieces, but them with Ben Simmons, I don't know how well I would feel about that being your future of your team, being Ben Simmons, Anthony Edwards. I'm not entirely sure. I would say that Minnesota definitely loses on this trade, but my God, if you could have Jaylen Brown with Joel Embiid and Tobias Harris, like, oh my God, that is a title-ready and winning team, in my opinion, guys. That is going to be it for me. This video is probably going to be kind of short, but I kind of wanted to do like a little quick trade, I guess, rumor mill update for you guys. So hopefully you guys are doing well.